Yo, 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 what's up? You clicked on the video. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I just wanted to stop in. You're going to see me pop in and out of this video. I recorded it at like 5 in the morning, scattered brain. You're going to see me in a couple of different areas during this video. So, the way that I'm going to do this, and it won't always be like this. I won't always be coming in like this. It'll be straight to the video, but this is like my pilot. So, you're seeing, and you're going to get my thoughts as they happen, as I jump in and out. That's why I got on different clothes now because I'm editing it now. Um, Most of our videos, I would say 99.99% of our videos aren't going to be like this. This is mainly going to be like clips, and then I'll talk about it, and then I'll show you the clip. Or maybe even vice versa. I'll show you the clip, and then I jump in and talk about it. But that's kind of how this is going to go. This is not how all of our videos are going to be. This is the pilot. Without further ado, I am your host, Bruce O. And today is going to be a little bit different than we're used to. Today, I'm also recording a video for the YouTube channel to give me content to start putting out there, as well as giving me um, practice trials before the season actually starts and we actually want overlays and stats on the screen and stuff like that. So today is just gonna be a little different. I will be talking tight ends. I'll also be talking about just an update on the podcast itself, the direction I feel the podcast is going, um, and the overall evolution of the podcast. Because we're only 4 episodes in. This is episode number 5. We missed last week. Little update on me. I am married now. I don't have my ring on. I was changing a poopy diaper and didn't want to get poo on it. So yeah. So the podcast itself is evolving. Wait. Hold on. First interruption time. I was getting ready to ramble there. Trust me. I'm saving you right now. I was getting ready to ramble so bad right there. Gist of it. Where our podcast is going. I got a couple clips that I'm going to show you from other stuff that I recorded, but the general consensus of what I was getting ready to try to tell you there is how our podcast is going to evolve. What direction do we feel like going in? So that's what this is getting ready to show you. Take it away. What I don't want to do is back this show into one corner, though. So just because we talk fantasy football does not mean that's the only thing we're going to talk about. Ideally, we're going to have like a little 5 minute, maybe podcast only episode that comes out on like a Tuesday or Wednesday, and then a full episode on Saturdays. So then I was thinking also, and this is just evolving. So this is even, we already got 4 episodes out. So this is all brand new, breaking news type deal. But um, we're going to also do one episode where it's just going to be us talking. Sure, some fantasy will leak into it just because that's naturally how the flow of our conversations may go. So it may come back to fantasy a little bit even on those. But for the most part, I mean, our friend group, because those are going to be the guys that are going to be in it, is mainly our friend group. So, I mean, we got guys that are in tech, guys that are in sales, guys that have started their own company. Yeah, you kind of got the gist of it. We're going to be a podcast that's going to talk about it all. Different kind of episode type deal. So Saturday's episode, Tuesday's little 5 minute episode is going to deal with our fantasy football side. And then I don't know when I don't even know when this is even going to happen. This is all just up here. But we're going to have different episodes on a different day. That'll be more just chill vibe. You know what I'm saying? Just coming and chopping out, talk about whatever we want to talk about type deal. So, sorry, back to the show. Okay. So now that we got the podcast update stuff out of the way, fantasy football wise, we are going to be talking about tight ends today. The reason why I chose tight ends is because there's not really many of them. So to have the guys on and talking about tight ends this week, this is probably going to be a shorter episode as well, just because I want to keep the video kind of shorter, and there's really not much to talk about when it comes to tight ends. So starting off with our top 5 tight ends, I mean it's pretty self-explanatory, especially the number one guy. I mean, who else are you gonna choose as your number one tight end besides Travis Kelsey? I mean the numbers speak for themselves, the stats speak for themselves. I don't have to speak on this guy too much. He's never been outside of the top 8 as at his position in the 7 years that he's been the starter. I mean, in 2013 he played 1 game, but that doesn't really count. First time he played 16 games, he's been 8 or better. He's only missed 2 games in the past 8 seasons, 6, 7, 8 seasons. So there's nothing really to worry about there with injury prone or anything like that. For the past 5 years, he's been number one, and it's such a positional advantage that he's number one. Like there's no debate in that. He's number one. The only thing with the positional advantage is you do have to take him early. Like in order to get that positional advantage, you just 100% have to take him early. And I'm pretty sure KP has had him like the past 2 years in a row. I feel like he's been willing to pull the trigger on that guy, and I don't see any reason that it slows down this year. Last year he was in for 82% of the snaps, got 150 targets, caught 100 of them. Now these numbers are being rounded up. I'm just don't want to dive too deep into it. I mean, it's Travis Kelsey. You know what you're getting. You're getting 1,400 yards. You're getting last year he actually had a career high in touchdowns, 11. So I mean, maybe that comes down just a little bit, but not enough that he's in any real danger, barring any kind of injury. So I'm gonna kind of just gloss over Travis Kelsey. He's Travis Kelsey. If you don't know who Travis Kelsey is, have you? I mean, even if this is your first year playing fantasy football, okay, I'll do this one for you. If it's your first year playing fantasy football and you just somehow stumbled upon this, Travis Kelsey is the number one tight end. Barring injury, Travis Kelsey is the number one tight end until he shows that he's not, which, you know, regression happens all the time with players, and I just don't see it happening. He's still young. He's still, you know, he's still Travis Kelsey. Well, relatively young. He's 32. So, I mean, it's not like crazy young, but he also has Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball. So I'm going to take the guy that Patrick Mahomes is throwing the ball. Now, these next 2 guys, they're kind of interchangeable. It just depends on who you want. And actually, I'm going to do it live. I'm going to make a change. I'm going to put Darren Waller at second. The reason why I decided to put Darren Waller at second is the amount of usage that this guy is going to get next year is going to be absolutely insane. They have Ruggs to throw the ball to. And Ruggs himself is a question mark. So with Travis Kelsey, with Darren Waller, what is it called? Not usage, but what is the word I'm looking for? Not usage. I guess you could say usage is king. Volume is king. And the sheer volume that Darren Waller is going to get this year should give him. He should be able to challenge Travis Kelsey for that number one spot. Now, the only thing that I would say that's holding him back is the fact that there may not be as many scoring opportunities for him. And I don't mean that in the way like, oh, he's just not going to get the scoring. It's going to be how many times are they going to be in the red zone with the Raiders? I feel like it's going to be a super kind of stagnant offense. So when you're going with Darren Waller, you're going sheer volume. He's going to be the clear number one on his team. There's nobody else taking targets. I mean, last year he got 150 targets, caught 100 of them. Again, simplifying this number, technically it's 145 and 107. 150 and 100, just 75% catch rate. Sounds about right. 1,200 yards with 9 touchdowns. So, I mean, realistically, even if the 9 touchdowns comes down a little, I mean, he could get more touchdowns. I think he's going to get more than 150 or 145 targets this year because, again, there's just no one else that is going to be catching the ball. Like, who else is catching the ball there? So, off of sheer just volume alone, I'm putting Darren Waller number two. Um, Past 2 years, number three, and number two tight end. I mean, there's slim pickings when it comes to that top three guys. There's Travis Kelce in his own tier, Darren Waller, and then segueing right into my number three guy. Again, this is probably a shocker to most. George Kittle. So Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, George Kittle. I'm sure that's the first time you've ever heard those guys be the top three tight ends. Now, the reason why I did just move Kittle down to number three is quarterback play. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm just interjection. I was Jimmy G. Let me just sum it up. Jimmy G. Garbage. Don't like him. Sorry if that's hella loud, but I'm not a fan of Jimmy G. So if you're not a fan of Jimmy G, it's hard to take a player when you're not a fan of their QB. A la Devontae Adams. Rodgers leaves. Devontae Adams is hard to grab. Jimmy Garoppolo is the QB. Kittle is hard to grab. Even Trey Lance, I believe his name is, the rookie. It's iffy. It's just we'll leave it at it's iffy. So Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. Trey Lance is going to eventually, from what I've heard, is going to eventually take the starting spot. So you just don't know what you're getting as far as like, is the volume actually going to be there? Now you'd be silly to not throw because it's almost another volume situation where they have Brandon Ayuk and they have George Kittle, and then they're 10 running backs that they like to use. So also a little bit injuries just linger in my mind from last year. Now before he was not, I hate to put the injury title on him, but I mean 15, 16, 14, 8 is just, it's hard to say, it's hard to just overlook the injury from last year. I mean, injuries can happen to anybody. Yes, I know that. But it's just last year just lingers in the mind a little bit. You know, it's a what have you done for me lately kind of league. And last year he was injured. No fault his own. Even with only playing half the games, he still finished as the tight end 19. So he played half the games and still beat out almost half the league when he didn't even play the full season. So George Kittle, again, I haven't introduced you guys to anybody. And that's another reason why I'm kind of doing tight ends on my own today, is because there's not really anybody that tight ends just drop off the face of the earth. Like I was saying earlier, after the Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, George Kittle, it kind of just disappears. It kind of just, I mean, number 4, number 5. I don't even know if I'm going to do a number 4 and number 5. Who would I put? Well, I got 2 guys, but I just don't know which one. I'm gonna put T.J. Hawkinson. I'm gonna leave T.J. Hawkinson at that number 4 spot. Reason being, is this almost exactly the same as the other 2 guys before him. At tight end, if they have volume, I don't know how I may be saying stuff wrong, but the volume that, besides Travis Kelce, who's gonna get his, it seems like he can get his regardless. Volume. All these guys have been 150 targets. Last year was 150 targets, catching 100. Now, T.J. Hawkinson only had 100 and caught 67 of them. So catch rate is okay. Had 720 yards and 6 touchdowns. Now, I know it's like, oh man, you're supposed to be telling us who's the top 5, and you're saying that his numbers are okay. The only reason I'm saying his numbers are okay is because I do believe they're going to go up this year. They brought Jared Goff in. Not like crazy excited about that, but there's no one else for him to throw to. No one else for it's T.J. Hawkinson, Swift, and nobody. You're kind of starting to see the theme here with the tight ends. Now overall in fantasy, volume is key. At tight ends, volume is the only thing you're looking for. If they get 100 targets as a tight end, that's the guy you want. So I do see T.J. Hawkinson taking a step forward off of sheer volume alone. His hands aren't like the greatest, but if you got a guy getting 150 targets, say he gets 50 more targets, continues at his 66% catch rate, that's at least another 25 catches. So that's another, hopefully, 400 yards. Actually, if 25 catches, about 10 yards a catch, about 250. It's actually 250 yards. Hopefully get another touchdown or two in there. Last year with his numbers being 700 yards and 10 and 6 touchdowns in a half-point PPR, he was the tight end 4. So that's all you need for tight end 4. So to add on top of that, 25 extra catches, hopefully 2 more touchdowns, somewhere around that range. Extra 200 yards, so put him at 1,000 yards, put him at 8 touchdowns, put him at 90 catches. That's tight end 1 material. So his ceiling could be tight end 1 off of sheer volume alone. That's why I would put him number 3, and I also don't like anything else out of Detroit. So he's number 4. Sorry, number 4. Now the number 5 tight end is super gross. I even almost feel like it's Travis Kelce, tier 1, Darren Waller, Kittle, tier 2, interchangeable. Tier 3, T.J. Hawkinson. And who would I put? Now there's a lot of hype around Kyle Pitts. I don't know if I'll be able to afford him with the amount of hype that's going around him. So I'm going to go Mark Andrews at number 5. Now, I know, again, I have not broken any new ground on anything I've said today. I haven't told you anything super insightful, super new. It's tight ends. There's like 4 of them, and then it's a dart throw at a board. It's really hard to try to come up with anything new at the tight end. The only thing new and shiny at tight end is Pitts. But rookie tight ends generally don't do the greatest. Like even this guy that I just put number 5, Mark Andrews, as a rookie was number 17. Now, I don't believe he had Lamar Jackson as his quarterback, because since he's had Lamar Jackson, he's been number 4 and 5. But number 4 and 5 tight end is 700 yards and 7 touchdowns. So again, tight end, you're not really needing the most. The reason why he's put at number 5 in my top 5 tight ends is solely because I don't see the Ravens passing game improving a lot. So for 88 targets, 58 catches, again, another 66% catch rate guy, I don't see him changing much. So I think out of all of my top 5 tight ends, Mark Andrews, I feel, is the most stagnant. Like, he will stay the same. He will get you, hopefully, a top 5 tight end finish without the top 5 tight end price, hopefully. It's just that Ravens passing game, I mean, they've beefed it up a little bit with some of the guys that they've brought in, but I'm still not going almost anywhere. If it's not Mark Andrews and it's not Lamar Jackson, I probably won't have too much Ravens on my team. So it could be another sheer volume guy. He could go up in targets. They're wanting to run Lamar less, use it more of a luxury, less of a necessity, but it's Lamar Jackson. He's going to take off. Now, with the threat of Lamar Jackson always taking off, it's hard to play over the middle. Andrews lives over the middle because either you're going to come up and watch Lamar and let him get behind you? Or you're going to back off and let Lamar run directly at you? 25% target rate or target share. Can't argue with those. He did get nine end zone targets. So he did get 9 end zone targets, only caught 4 of them. But again, for a tight end, if you could get 10 red zone targets and he catches 4 of them, you're feeling kind of good. Seven touchdowns for a tight end is a top 5 tight end, which is crazy thinking about other positions. But I just wanted to gloss over tight ends, get them out the way, give me a short, little 20, 30-minute video to be able to edit in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to try to do something with the video. If not, just upload it. Get used to uploading stuff and see how that goes. But as far as tight ends, man, that's really it. I don't have too much on the tight ends in general, man. It's one of the worst positions to kind of try to talk about and try to like dress up and make it seem like anything special. Tight ends. Ugly situation. To sum it up, wrap it up, because I was getting ready to, you know what I'm saying, do my thing again. Apparently that I do at 5 in the morning. Volume is king. Take Andrews, for example. I'm going to keep this quick, too. Take Andrews, for example. If Andrews went from the 80 to 150 targets, easily top 3 tight end. Probably could challenge Kelsey because he does get touchdowns. Is he going to get the 150? That's what you're betting on with almost any tight end. Any tight end after the top 3, that's what you're betting on. Go for volume. You are welcome. Also, nobody told me my glasses were so dirty, so I cleaned them. Now, I am going to do just a tiny bit of news. I mean, there's nothing like too crazy going on. Stuff is starting to, actually, now that I say that, stuff is starting to spice up just a little bit. The closer we get to training camp. Aaron Rodgers turned down his 2-year extension. I really wish he would just come up with what it is he wants to do, because trying to figure out what to do with Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams is just, it hurts my soul. But yeah, so Aaron Rodgers turned down his 2-year contract. As a Bears fan, though, spicy. I like it. Another tough hit to our running back room. Cam Akers going down with, what did he tear his Achilles? So he suffered a torn Achilles, and he's out for the year. Hurdling Darrell Henderson Jr. into the stratosphere. Now, will I have some Henderson on my team? Maybe. You could get him a lot later than you could get Cam Akers, so that kind of does shift things around. Cam Akers was looking to be a top 15 guy. I see Henderson I see Henderson being a top 20. I see Henderson being a RB2 flex guy. I didn't see personally Cam Akers doing much more than that. Anyway, my personal opinion, I'm sure there's guys out there that'll promise you the world with Cam Akers, but it still sucks. Tight end or running backs are so thin that even losing one top 15 guy still is just atrocious. It's just hard to deal with. But I'm gonna keep this video short. I'm gonna keep this episode short. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the first time I've done this by myself, so I'm kind of babbling a little bit. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna try something with this video. I'm gonna try something here, and we're doing this live and on the fly. So I'm not 100% sure how this is all going to work out. Slide this up. Boom, boom. And then we're going to go here. Currently, I'm capturing my screen so I could possibly do a mock draft. There we go. And then we'll move this down here. There we go. Okay. Mock draft time. So I am going to do a mock draft. I'm going to randomize it. Position number 8. And as you can see, we got 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex, and then what we're calling a super flex. It's not really because super flex includes quarterbacks, but we do have one where you can put a tight end in there if you choose. Let's go ahead and start this draft. So people are going early and quick. We got Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley. Who left? Did Josh Allen went number 4. CMC, Dalvin Cook, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Tyreek Hill, Derrick Henry, Kyler Murray. I will say these 2 guys, Alvin Kamara and Saquon Barkley, are extremely hard for me. Saquon Barkley, I will have nothing to do with Saquon Barkley. I will take whatever comes with missing out on what Saquon Barkley does. So here, let's see what QBs are left. You didn't think I was gonna give you everything, did you? I'd say I'll give you little gems, and this is at the guys in our group. I'll give you little gems, but I'm not gonna give you the whole game plan. I'll just sprinkle a little here, a little there. I can't give you the whole game plan. At the end of the day, I'm trying to win too. So I just want to. That's gonna be the end of this episode. It was fun to edit this. We're going to be doing a lot more, hopefully, soon. But again, this may be the only time we do this style video. It should be almost identical to what happens on the podcast. There will always be a little bit of a difference between our videos and our podcast, but for the most part, it should be pretty close. I'm excited to see where this goes. First video going up. Thank you for making it here. Peace and love, baby.